Ta ló sá?
Ọlá Abolóyè ni mo jẹ́ o.
Ta ló sá lórí? Ta ló sá? Injúrì náà lọ sá báyà.
Láyé injúrì ni o. Láyé injúrì ni o.
Injúrì lọ sá.
A.L.F Yorùbá TV.
Àyànfẹ́ Ẹlẹ́dùmarè kí ni tó ń bí ìdàrúdàpọ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun bọ́rọ̀ bá ti débẹ̀ ń gbé yín débẹ̀ lásìkò ọ̀hún kó tó di àsìkò náà ńkọ́ ká tó wo kókó tí ń bẹ nínú ìròyìn ká tó máa pẹ̀kẹ́lu ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ rẹ̀ báyìí. Ènìyàn 23 tó jẹ́ arìnrìn-àjò ní ológun ilẹ̀ yìí ti tún gbà kalẹ̀ báyìí o kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn ajínigbé báńdíìtì ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara. Kò dín ní 9 lára àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí tí ológun ilẹ̀ yìí tó ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ju àdó ikú sórí wọn tá sì ti kú ikú gbóná báyìí ní ìfanáfanṣu ní ìpínlẹ̀ Borno. Àyànfẹ́ Ọ̀ṣun gbóná, ìgboro Ọ̀ṣun sì ti ń dàrú lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí pẹ̀lú báwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alátakò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ sára wọn ní ìsákùsá bíi alápàtà ń sá màálù ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun látàrí ètò ìdìbò èyí tó ń kalẹ̀kùn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Ọwọ́ àjọ NDLEA ti tẹ gbajúgbajà elégbògi olóró tó fi orílẹ̀-èdè Italy ṣe àtìpó ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú ti ìpínlẹ̀ Enugu lásìkò tó fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fẹ́ gbé egbògi olóró náà jápa. Àyànfẹ́ àwọn agbébọn tó ti hùwà ìkà wọ́n sì ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ káwọn ọ̀dọ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau lẹ́yìn ọ̀kan pẹ̀lú bí wọ́n ṣe ṣekú pa ọ̀kan lára àwọn ajìjàǹgbara tó pè fún àlàáfíà ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Ǹjẹ́ akúbójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí níbi gbogbo tẹ̀tí láǹfààní láti máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì wa A.L.F Yorùbá TV níbi tá a ti yà lárọ̀ tó ta tó ti dáńtọ́ fúnròyìn lájọ́ balẹ̀ bó ṣe lọ náà là ń bá dọ́gba gbogbo àti gbogbo àsìkò àlójútẹ̀ fún wò ní fọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni etí tẹ̀sí fi ń gbọ́ wa náà kò ní di láṣẹ lọ́wọ́ adániwáyé kókó oníròyìn lẹ ti gbọ́ látẹnu àyànfẹ́ yìí ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ rẹ̀ rèé ká máa sísọ lójú igun rẹ̀. Wọ́n ní ènìyàn 23 tó jẹ́ arìnrìn-àjò ní ikọ̀ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí tó ti gbà kalẹ̀ báyìí lẹ́yìn tó dojú ìjà kọ àwọn ajínigbé báńdíìtì ọ̀hún ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara. Káàkiri ikọ̀ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí kú iṣẹ́ wọ́n sì kú ọmọ ṣe pẹ̀lú bí ikọ̀ ọmọ ogun ilẹ̀ yìí Operation Fasanyama àtàjọṣepọ̀ àwọn ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara bọ́sẹ̀dọ́là àwọn arìnrìn-àjò ní òpópónà Magazu ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Sàfẹ́ tí ń ṣe ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara lọ́jọ́ 9 oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wọ̀ yìí lásìkò tá a ṣe ní àlẹ́ wípé àwọn arìnrìn-àjò ọ̀hún ó ní wọ́n ṣe ìrìn-àjò lọ sí agbègbè tá a pè ní Magazu ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara yìí kó tó di pé wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ wá ọkọ̀ wọn bọ́ sọ́wọ́ àwọn báńdíìtì afẹ̀míṣòfò tó sì ṣínà ìbọn bolẹ̀ wọ́n já àwọn èèyàn náà gbé ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ wípé ìròyìn ọ̀hún ló tètè dé tí ìgbọ́ ikọ̀ ológun lẹ̀ yìí àtàwọn ọlọ́pàá lágbègbè náà làwọn náà bá pa kìtìmọ́lẹ̀ láti kanlugbó pẹ̀lú àwọn oníṣẹ́ láabi ọ̀hún lásìkò tó dáná ogun yára wọn náà ní ọwọ́ ikọ̀ ológun lẹ̀ yìí àtàwọn ọlọ́pàá náà ó dùn àwọn ajínigbé náà lára wọ́n sì fà àwọn ènìyàn tó jí gbé sílẹ̀ wọ́n fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ nínú igbó náà wọ́n sì bá ẹsẹ̀ wọn sọ̀rọ̀ júbà ehoro báyìí náà ṣe dọ́là ẹ̀mí ènìyàn 23 èyí tí wọ́n bá tó ti jí gbé wọ inú igbó lọ báyìí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara. Kò dín ní 9 lára àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí tí ológun ilẹ̀ yìí tó ti ju àdó ikú sórí wọn báyìí ó tá sì ti kú ní gbànjógbànjó ní ìpínlẹ̀ Borno. Ikọ̀ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí Operation Adinkayi wọ́n ní táwọn oníṣẹ́ láabi ọ̀hún bá ti láwọn ò ní gbọ́ àwọn náà sì nígbà báyìí náà tó ṣe ìkọlù alágbára míì sí ibùgbé àwọn oníṣẹ́ láabi afẹ̀míṣòfò báńdíìtì tó tún jẹ́ agbésùmọ̀mí lágbègbè tápè ní Dumba ní ìpínlẹ̀ Borno ọjọ́ 9 oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wọ̀ yìí ní nǹkan dédé aago 3 ọ̀sán ó kù ìṣẹ́jú 2 kólù náà ní ìkọlù ọ̀hún ó wáyé pẹ̀lú bá ṣe lo ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé dúróònù láti fi tọpinpin àwọn oníṣẹ́ láabi náà náà sì rí wọn nínú igbó àti ọkọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ohun ìjọlóró tó tọ́jú pamọ́ sínú igbó ọ̀hún níṣẹ́ ní kọlógun lẹ̀ yìí náà ju àdó ikú náà sórí wọn ní gbànjógbànjó tí 9 nínú wọn sì gbèkúrú jẹ lọ́wọ́ ẹbọra àṣeyọrí lákàntúlẹ̀ yìí tí kọlógun lẹ̀ yìí ṣe ká gbàdúrà pé kédùmarè ọba dániwáyé kó má fi wọ́n lẹ̀ nígbà kankan ká sì máa tó bọ̀ jẹ́rí àwọn oníṣẹ́ láabi ọ̀hún síwájú àti síwájú sí i. Àyànfẹ́ mo ní Ọ̀ṣun gbóná, ìgboro Ọ̀ṣun ti ń dàrú lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí pẹ̀lú báwọn ẹgbẹ́ olóṣèlú ṣe ń sára wọn ní ìsákùsá bí alápàtà ń sá màálù lórí odò látàrí ìkọlù alágbára tó ṣe síra wọn lórí ètò ìdìbò tó súnmọ́ ilé báyìí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. agbègbè kan ní Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ òní ìkọlù alágbára ọ̀hún ló ti wáyé ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ìlà oòrùn Ifẹ̀ tí ń ṣe ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun pẹ̀lú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe náà rẹ̀ wípé àwọn jàǹdùkú olóṣèlú ètò fi ẹ̀sùn kẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú akọ́ọ̀dù wípé àwọn jàǹdùkú ẹgbẹ́ wọn tó pe arákùnrin kan ní Táyé Injúrì òní ó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ sí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC kan lọ́sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ní ó sá wọn ní ìsákùsá tí ẹ̀jẹ̀ sì ń dà lágbárí wọn àwọn méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ òní ó sá ní òní tí ń ṣe ọjọ́ kẹsàn-án oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wà yìí lásìkò tá ni wọ́n ń gbìyànjú láti ṣe ìpàdé ti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lórí bí wọ́n sì gbé àlàkalẹ̀ ètò kalẹ̀ tí wọ́n sì tún la àwọn ònìyàn wọn lọ́yẹ̀ láti dìbò wọn fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC nínú ètò ìdìbò ọdún tó ń bọ̀ nínú ètò ìdìbò tó bọ̀ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tí a fẹ́ wọnú rẹ̀ yìí ètò ó máa ṣe déédéé ọjọ́ karùndínlógún oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wà yìí ní sẹ̀nánì ìdàrúdàpọ̀ ń lágbára pẹ̀lú bọ́ńkálùkù ṣe fún dàgbé sàsálà fún ẹ̀mí wọn ẹtẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ọ̀hún láti ní káwọn ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sùúrù káwọn tó wo bí àlàáfíà tó ṣe ní ìpọn tó kó tó di wípé ó tún tẹ̀síwájú nípa à ń ṣe ìpàdé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC èyàn ní ìlú Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ bí nǹkan ṣe lọ fúnà làwòrán àti fọ́nrán èyí tẹ́ ń wò lójú mọ̀máwòrán yìí ẹ má bínú wípé àti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ àti palaro ẹ̀jẹ̀ náà lẹ́rí tó pọ̀ láti agbárí arákùnrin ọ̀hún tó bòdélẹ̀ gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀n látàrí ọ̀sẹ̀ ìtàn ni wọ́n fira wọn ṣe ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Ọwọ́ àjọ NDLEA ti tẹ gbajúgbajà elégbògi olóró tó ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fi orílẹ̀-èdè Italy ṣe ibùgbé báyìí tó fi ṣe àtìpó ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú ní ìpínlẹ̀ Enugu lásìkò tó fẹ́ gbé egbògi olóró jápa lọ sí orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀hún. Gbajúgbajà oníṣòwò tó tún jẹ́ ògbólógbòó agbégbògi olóró jápa ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó sì fi orílẹ̀-èdè Italy ṣe àtìpó èyí Joseph Cyril ẹni ọgbọ̀n ọdún oní ọwọ́ tẹ̀ ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú Akanu Ibiam ní ìpínlẹ̀ Enugu èyí ní ọjọ́ kejì oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wà yìí nínú àlàyé tó jẹ́ alukoro fún àjọ tó ń rí sí lílò àti gbígbé egbògi olóró lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Fẹ́mi Babáfẹ́mi ó ṣe ní àlàyé wípé ní ọjọ́ kejì oṣù kẹjọ tó fẹ́ gbìyànjú láti ṣe ìrìn àjò lọ sí orílẹ̀-èdè Italy pẹ̀lú kó gun ọkọ̀ òfurufú pẹ̀lú kó gun ọkọ̀ òfurufú èyí tó fẹ́ gbé ṣe ìrìn àjò náà tó fẹ́ gbé lọ ètò wọn ni yóò gba Abu Dhabi láti lọ sí ibi tí Addis Ababa ẹnumí àgò láti gbé lọ sí ibi tí yóò ti lọ gbé egbògi olóró náà jíṣẹ́ fáwọn oníbàárà rẹ̀ ìtàsíṣe ní àlẹ́ wípé egbògi olóró tó pè ní cocaine èyí tí wọ́n gbé ní ọ̀nà 98 grams òní wọ́n bá ní ọwọ́ rẹ̀ tí ó sì ṣe déédéé òdiwọ̀n 1.510 kg ní ọwọ́ tẹ̀ pẹ̀lú rẹ̀ ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú ọ̀hún ọlọ́wọ́dẹ wa yóò ṣe àfihàn fọ́nrán rẹ̀ fún wa ní àkójọpọ̀ nígbà tá a bá ṣẹnu wa dédé síbí kí n tó wá dákẹ́ tẹnu tèmi ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi ti ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau kí n fi ṣe ìkádìí ètò nílẹ̀ fún ti àsìkò yìí níṣẹ́ làwọn báńdíìtì agbébọn náà wọ́n tó ti wá ìka wọn ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún pẹ̀lú bá ṣe káwọn ọ̀dọ́ inú ìlú náà lẹ́yìn ọ̀kan látàrí ikú ọ̀dọ́langba tó jẹ́ ajìjàngbara ètò ń pè fún àlàáfíà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau bó tún ṣe wáyé ọlọ́wọ́dẹ wọn ṣe àfihàn rẹ̀ fún wa tẹ́gbẹ́ ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tó jẹ́ olórí ọ̀dọ́ fún ẹgbẹ́ BEROM ní ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau ènìkọ́ ànákọ́ láti múròyìn wá lórí ìkọlù aláàbí ètò àwọn oníṣẹ́ lábí ọ̀hún máa ń ṣe sáwọn ènìyàn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau ẹ̀sìn náà ti pé lóòrọ̀ yìí làmúròyìn náà jáde wípé wọ́n tó ṣekú pa arákùnrin kan lásìkò tó lọ sí ilé ìjọsìn lówùúrọ̀ kùtùkùtù ọjọ́ kẹsàn-án oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wà yìí báyìí bá gbà wá á tún padà máa gbé ìròyìn tiẹ̀ jáde ibi tẹ́ ti gbé ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ BEROM ní ìpínlẹ̀ Plateau oníyẹn ṣe ọlọ́bẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ́ ìtẹ̀bàmídẹ́ ìfẹ́ labá o títí dìgbà tátùjọ máa fojú níjú pàdé padà lórí ìkànnì A.L.F Yorùbá TV tá a wà yìí ire àtayọ̀ láfi máa pàdé ó dàbọ̀.
A.L.F Yorùbá TV. A.L.F Yorùbá TV.
What it takes. Test for the best U1
find the YouTube.
A.L.F. Yoruba TV. A.L.F. Yoruba TV.
Why is it so fast?
A.L.F. Yoruba TV. A.L.F. Yoruba TV.
YouTube.
A.L.F. Yoruba TV.
What color is this? It's positive for pushing.
A.L.F. Yoruba TV.
Right behind me is the grave of one of my members, a vibrant and a promising youth whom we had looked up to, that by the grace of God, she will champion a lot of cause for the well-being of our people within this general area. Because before his demise as a result of the terror attack that was carried out in this community, he was the former legislator of the Rim Local Government Council representing Rim community. And this is someone that we had hoped that he will bring a lot of goodies, a lot of development by his exposure being a politician who had served his people, and his people look up to him, and we the youth, we hold him in high esteem because of the immense contribution he had made, and we are hopeful to have in the future time. But of course, this is a young person who is named Daniel Danjuma, just 41-year-old, was gruesomely murdered by bandits and terrorist elements that we have over time been reporting about how they were brought to Bangui Fulani, and they have remained in that place. And Bangui Fulani is just like, it's not up to 2 kilometers away from where we are, where their settlement is known. The movement of some of these bandits are always identified and reported timelessly to security agents. And also unfortunate that today we are burying not only one, because 3 people were buried today or have been buried today in Rim community. Another incident occurred just day before yesterday, being the 6th day of August, where the same bandits from the same location came and attacked women at the farming site. And when the youth came out to repel them, another group of the bandits in military uniform came, and they were mistaken to be military personnel. Lo and behold, they were not. And this incident, you know, the issue of the use of military kits, particularly uniform, is something that was reported last year. And that incident, you know, happened at forest area, that is Hawankibo, where military personnel gave out their uniform for laundry, and then the bandits went overnight and took all the military, uniform and went with towards this same Bangui Fulani area. And I remember that time vividly, I talked to the then sector commander, who was Colonel Pave, that this is what had happened. And so we will want a clear-cut communication between our people and the military personnel that are on ground. So that, because since these uniforms have been stolen by the Fulanis, definitely they are going to use it. And lo and behold, that is what they used in perpetrating this act, which would have, if not because of the understanding and the peaceful disposition of the community, it would have been a protest today that these young people were killed by the military. So we are using this opportunity to call the appropriate authorities to, as a matter of urgency, ransack Fulani villages, Fulani settlements that are forcefully established, because there is no any Fulani settlement within this axis that is established by the consent of the people. Even though before now there was an arrangement we had with them that they will settle on our farmlands and also help us with cow dungs to use on our farmlands, while they use the remains of our farm produce to graze their cattle on. And that's why people are appealing and people are passionately crying and clamoring out that all the Fulani settlements, all the Fulanis that are within this axis, since they have turned to be terrorists, they have subscribed to terrorism. Rather, it is daily killings, daily destruction of farm crops, and that is the only means of livelihood our people have. So already hunger has set in. And then the mother of our brother, a young person, and the other two that have been buried in a neighboring community, which is just like 500 meters away from here, their families have been left at the mercy of hunger, because there is no any clear-cut intervention or government policies that attends to the special needs of these individuals who have been forced into widowhood and orphanage. So we are appealing to government, we are appealing to the federal government to give more attention to the situation on the plateau, because the narrative that has been going around, that one, the people that coined that and the proponent of that trajectory are rather party to what is happening here, because they did it with mischievous intent. Why I'm saying mischievous intent? Because they know that there is nothing like that on the plateau, but it is something that they've deliberately done, and they had already sat down, orchestrated it with their mouthpiece, especially Mieti Allah, that will always come and narrate that Biro militia have killed a Fulani. And we will begin to ask, if a Fulani is killed, is it in his own settlement that he has grabbed the land? Not at all. Because there is no day that our people have ever in any way initiated an attack, not to even think of perpetrating it at the Fulani's domain. Rather, they will come in the name of grazing, with arms, with full of the bandits and terrorist elements they are brought from Chad into the state. And ever since we brought out that report, that Chadians, over 1,000 Chadians have been brought into Plateau, there would have been a kind of thorough investigation, flush out operation within the places that have been enlisted or named or tagged as terrorist enclaves. And in the terrorist enclaves we have on the Plateau, Bangde Fulani is one. And not that those lands were bought by them or were given to them for any kind of settlement, since the arrangement had failed. And so, today, we have been forced to accept living with terrorists. We have also equally been forced to come together in a dialogue table to negotiate for peace with terrorists. And we are appealing to government that such a move should be desisted from. They have accepted their weakness, that they cannot put an end to terrorism on the plateau, within the Middle Belt and Nigeria as a whole. So therefore, we are saying any meeting that will be called upon for us to sit with Fulanis whom we are seeing as bandits, except for those good ones. And then the good one, we will not even want them to come and sit with us, because the bad one will end up flushing. So we are not saying all the Fulanis, but majority of them have subscribed into this terrorism that is ongoing. And therefore, they should be shown a way where they belong. Either they go back to the north where they have come from, or security agents should send them to their early graves where they belong. Because the law says he who kills should be killed. One of the bandits be neutralized. Will rather be left with pains, with burying of our loved ones, that are daily and gruesomely murdered. On Wednesday, being the fifth day of this month, three were buried in John community, a neighboring village to this one. And today, just after 3 days, we are burying another 3. There is no day that passes by without someone being killed. And if there are days that people are not killed, they will make sure they kill to cover up those days. And that is why you see within 3 days, we have 6 corpses just in 2 neighboring communities. Not to even talk about other villages within Rio. And then we talk about, Barkiladi, Rio, Basa, Mangu, Bokos, and other places that are subjected to the same heinous activities and act of terrorism that is daily carried out by armed Fulani bandits who have their support, their sponsors from some of their elites who are in position of authorities. Because the information available to us is that they are being sponsored. A Fulani man who is grazing in this place will not want to sell his cow to go and buy AK-47 or buy sophisticated arms to come and perpetrate terrorism. They must have been supported, and there are Fulanis that have narrated that, naming the people that are supporting them, naming the people that are even sabotaging the effort of the security not to bring an end to this. And if we must live in this kind of situation that is avoidable, then we must rise up. And so, but for the benefit of the doubt, the new GOC has come in and we will give him the necessary support. But if it turns out this time around that the situation will not be put under check, and then bandits are shown their way home, we have the right to live. And our right to live was never negotiated by the bandits or with the bandits. It was God that gave us. And we are duty bound to protect this life. And therefore we are saying our youth will be ready to cooperate with security. But of course, we must also be appreciated when we maximally defend ourselves. Since the authority that be has in its own statutory responsibility could not guarantee our safety. In this general area, with Rio, Barkiladi, Plateau State as a whole, Middle Belt and Nigeria, and the same tribe, the same terrorists from the same tribe are making life unbearable to people in Nasarawa, Taraba, Benue, Kebbi, Sokoto, all over the place, including the Yoruba land, where they have led their path from the north, far north, and moved to Yoruba land instead of contributing towards the development of those communities. They have rather aimed at having the lands belonging to them by way of waging jihad, which, if it is not even a religious war, but it is rather an ethnic, for them to take over individuals' land and make it their own. And their principal target is to establish a religious fundamentalist, movement, so that the land will belong to them, and then they will be the one in both religious and political, power. And once that one happens on the plateau, which we are not praying for, it will be a very big loss. Not only to Plateau State, it would have been that Plateau State has been taken over and it's under the control of fundamentalists, jihadists, murderers, monsters that have no regard for humanity, not even think of human life. We remain resolute despite the fact that we've been killed. But we remain resolute, one, on our faith and also on our land. We keep crying, and that is why I'm using this opportunity to call on the international community. Otherwise, it would have been giving us or allowing us to be daily killed by these marauders that are not yet circumcised, but in their own way, because they have gotten the support from their elites who are sponsoring them, equipping them with arms. Because after the attack on Joel 2 weeks ago, we learned that their ammunitions got exhausted. And so they went to Abuja and got some, and went to Chad and got some, and Mali, and they were brought to them last week. And ever since those ammunitions were brought to them, so we are praying that government should go and, flush them out and disarm them and retrieve those weapons that are meant, to be in the possession of Nigerian army. But today, they are in the hands of the terrorists. And that's why they kill, even from the information available to us. So security should understand that both the law-abiding citizens and the security operatives are not safe in the hands of these uncircumcised terrorists. So we must come together and fight our common enemy. But where you refuse to, will also regard you as an enemy of Nigeria, as enemy of the state, because Nigeria is a territorial, state that its own territory cannot be invaded. Not to even think about a part of
A.L.F. Yoruba TV.